Hello students, welcome in our new session, and today we will start the remaining portion of the chapter number 8, and that is chemical properties of water. Here we will discuss about the chemical properties of water. In our previous session we had discussed the physical properties of water. So what are the chemical properties of water? That means how it chemically reacts, how water chemically reacts. About it we will study here. The first thing is reactivity of metal with water. That means when any metal will react with water, what will you find in the product? Okay, now reaction of metal with cold water. At first, when water react with any metal and water will be cold, then what will you find? See here, in this reaction, this potassium reacts with water and gives potassium hydroxide, hydrogen gas and heat. That means heat is produced in all these cases. Heat is produced in all these cases when water, and which water? Cold water. When cold water react with these highly reactive metals, this is exothermic reaction. That means heat will be produced, hydrogen gas will be there, and the product you will find that will be metallic hydroxide. That means metal hydroxide will be produced. Okay, when cold water react with potassium, it gives potassium hydroxide, hydrogen gas and heat. When sodium, this sodium react with water, gives sodium hydroxide, hydrogen gas and heat, and calcium gives calcium hydroxide, hydrogen and heat. And when the metals react with hot water, with the hot water, this metal gives the metallic hydroxide. Very same, it gives the metallic hydroxide and hydrogen gas is liberated. Okay, now reaction of metals with steam. When metal will react with steam, that means here you will show H2O for the steam, because in steam water is there present. Okay, now this magnesium react with water and gives its oxide, that is magnesium oxide, and which gas is there? Hydrogen gas. Okay, which gas is produced there? That is hydrogen gas. Now when this water react with aluminum, zinc and another metals, then what will happen? Here this water react with aluminum, give its oxide, that is aluminum oxide and hydrogen, and zinc react with water, zinc oxide and hydrogen gas. Same, iron react with water, it gives iron oxide and hydrogen gas will be released. Okay, now you know metal like aluminum, zinc, iron, they don't react with hot water, they can only react with steam. Okay, to form a metal oxide. It is important that metals like aluminum, zinc, iron, these metals don't react with hot or cold water, they react with only steam. Okay, now and metals like lead, copper, silver and gold, they don't react with water or steam. Okay, these metals don't react with water or steam. Now our next topic is reaction of metals and non-metals oxide with water. When metallic oxide or non-metallic oxides react with water, what happens? See here, MgO, it is a metal oxide, it react with water, gives it hydroxide, that is magnesium hydroxide. Same, when calcium oxide react with water, it gives calcium hydroxide. And in case of non-metals, when non-metals react with water, it gives carbonic acid, H2CO3, it is called carbonic acid. And when sulfur trioxide, it react with water, gives sulfuric acid. When zinc oxide react with water, it gives zinc hydroxide. Okay, now here water and universal solvent. Water and universal solvent. How can you say that water is an universal solvent? You know, a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances is called a solution. What is solution? First thing is, what is solution? A homogeneous mixture of two or more substances is called solution. Okay, that means homogeneous means both the solute and the solvent appears the same in the solution. Okay, so solution consists of two parts. One is solute and second is solvent. So solute and solvent makes the solution. Commonly in any solution, the substance present in a small amount, that is solute. Suppose that sugar mixed into water. The sugar is solute and that water is solvent. Since sugar is in less amount and water is in high amount. Okay, now water can dissolve almost all kinds of solids. Water can dissolve all kinds of solids like sugar, salt, etc. So it is called the universal solvent. Okay, it also can dissolve the liquids like alcohol, vinegar, etc. and many gases are also dissolved into water. So why water is called the universal solvent? Since it dissolved almost solids and many liquids and gases, that's why it is called the universal solvent. Okay, now when any salt, suppose that there is a salt, sodium chloride, it dissociate into water. This sodium chloride will dissociate into sodium plus and chlorine minus ions, and various covalent compounds like glucose, sugar, etc. they also dissolve in water. Okay, covalent compounds don't dissociate into ions like sodium chloride. Covalent compounds cannot dissociate into ions. Okay, now solubility. About this solubility of water, here we will discuss. So what is solubility actually? Solubility is defined as the maximum amount of specific solute. Solubility is defined as the maximum amount of specific solute that dissolve in 100 gram of liquid substance. That liquid substance is called the solvent. Okay, at specific conditions of temperature and pressure, that is called the solubility. Okay, now factors affecting the solubility. Which factors affect the solubility? The first factor is temperature. Temperature is very important factor. It directly affects the solubility. Temperature directly affects the solubility. As the temperature increases, solute particles move faster. As the temperature increases, solute particles move faster, and hence this result in increase the rate of solubility of solute in the solvent. That means temperature increases the solubility. Okay, now nature of solute. Nature of solute will also responsible for the solubility. How? Polar compounds, that means polar solutes are soluble in polar solvent, and the example is sodium chloride is soluble into water, and the non-polar compounds, that means non-polar solute are soluble into non-polar solvents such as benzene. Here two things are here. Benzene is non-polar solvent and water is a polar solvent. The second factor which affect the solubility is pressure. Second factor is pressure. Pressure mostly affect the solubility of gases in liquids. The increase in pressure of the surface of any liquid increase the solubility of gas into liquid. Now, size of particle also affect the solubility. The larger the size of the solute particles, lesser in the solubility. That means when particle size of solute will be larger, solubility will be minimum. Okay, now stirring, stirring process, it brings more solute in contact with the solvent, and hence it helps in increasing in the rate of formation of solution. When you stir the sugar in water, it dissolved in water very easily. So this stirring is also responsible for the solubility. Okay, that's all for today. In our next session we will study types of solutions based on solubility of solute in the solvent. Thank you. That's all.